Welcome to the Temple of Love, everybody. Thank you for bringing your temple of love into this temple of love so we can have a huge temple of love. Thank you, everybody all over the world, watching, coming, with your presence. Think of them now and say, I miss you, I love you, I feel you, because they are with us on this amazing journey today. From my highest heart to yours, I am so honored to be here. From my highest heart to yours, I welcome you with love to this moment, this pilgrimage, this gathering of great advanced souls. From my highest heart to yours, I honor you for your journey that brought you to this moment, to this decision, for waking up in this lifetime, for listening to your cosmic alarm clock, for going back to sleep and waking up again, and then going back to sleep and waking up again, for keeping your promise, your vow. Do you know you made a vow? I will wake up before I die. I will awaken in this body, in this life, before I die. No matter what I go through, I will rise from those places I fall. And we have all fallen, haven't we? No matter how many times you can be in this environment, you can pray, you can affirm, you can love, you can listen to the music, you can feel, yes, I'm there right now. I'm awakened in this moment. I'm sure I'll stay in this place forever. I will stay as centered as I am right now, no matter what happens. I am intending that to happen, and then a half hour later, someone does something, and you have fallen again, because we are in those human bodies. So I honor you for every time you have risen. Every time you have risen. Think about all the times you have risen. All the things that have cloaked your clarity. And every time you have pulled those cloaks off. All those times your heart has despaired. And you have reached inside and found the love again with your fire of intention. All those times you have fallen from your own grace. In small ways or big ways. And you have risen again. Turn to someone next to you and say, I have risen. I have risen. And then say to them, and you have risen. And doesn't that feel good? Can you feel the energy in the room rise up? Not I have arisen permanently. I have risen. And in a few hours, I will probably rise again from something. And I will keep rising and keep rising. And what is it that lifts us up the most? It is love. What is it that helps us to rise up into clarity, into consciousness, into awakening, into mastery? It is love. Love, the divine escalator that takes us from wherever we are to wherever we want to go. Love, not the thought of it. Not trying to behave in a certain way. Not just saying nice words about it, but the energy of it. That incredible place, love. What is it? That divine, light-drenched, limitless field that is our source, that is who we are on the inside. Let us now invoke the presence of love with a beautiful journey and meditation. Are you ready for some more love? Now more than ever, we need it. So let us invoke the presence of love. If you'd like, you can close your eyes as I take you on a journey. And take a breath into your heart, not your physical heart, your metaphysical heart. The metaphysical heart, that place that connects heaven and earth, that connects the divine to the human, that switching station, that big circuit board that you plug into. Breathe into your metaphysical heart. It is vast, it is huge. On this awakened morning, on this blessed morning, we open to the presence of love. We feel so grateful for the privilege of being in a room of awakeners and the awakened. What a relief to come here. What a relief to be in the sanctuary of goodness when there is so much in the world that challenges us. What a relief for the blessing. I feel so grateful for the healings that have been happening. I feel so grateful for the light that keeps coming back and back to help me navigate through any darkness. I feel so grateful for all I have already released and all I know I have to release, and I even feel grateful for seeing what there is to see that needs to be healed. And in this moment, I call forth love. I call forth the presence of love, and I ask that all remaining resistance, obstacles, delusions, blindness, stubbornness be healed from me. That love wash it clean slowly, bit by bit, transmuting it back into love. I ask that these shackles be cut. They are not my protections, they are my prisons. And I rejoice in this moment. And I ask to find the presence of love within me. I breathe in now to the presence of love, and I send it towards my resistance. Breathe now and open to love, and see that love moving towards your resistance. Send it towards any fear. Send it towards any stubbornness. Send love towards any anger. Send love towards any division. Send love towards any shame. See how much you can feel soothed by that energy. And have the thought, the feeling now, I open myself to the presence of love. And think about these words. I open means that love is already there. You are not searching for it. You are opening to it. It is waiting for you, your divine beloved inside. I open my doors. I open to the presence of love. Where? Within me. Not the presence outside, the presence within. I open to the presence of love within me. May it come forth. May it rise up right now and reveal itself to me. May I feel the thrill in my heart of the presence of love. I invoke and open to the presence of love in all of its forms, because love is not just what we think of as love. I open to the presence of love in me that is compassion. Breathe in compassion. I open to the presence of love that is courage, because love with fire becomes courage. I open to the presence of love within me that is persistence, because love, when it is focused, becomes persistence. I open to the presence of love within me that is humility, because in the presence of love, there is no room for pride. Breathe in. Surrender to that humility. You need it. I open to the presence of love within me. That is truth, because sometimes love, when it has so much light, shines light on truth. Even if we do not like what we see, that is love. And I open to the presence of love within me that is truly my most inner beloved. That formless form reaching up to embrace me now and saying, come to me. Surrender to my embrace. I hold everything you need. I invoke the presence of love. I honor the presence of love. This is your purpose, to vibrate as that love, to be in that love. Breathe it in. Know yourself as it. And very gently, you can open your eyes, and if there's someone near you, you can turn to them and say, from my field of love, I greet you in your field of love. Think about those words. From my field of love, I greet you in your field of love. And can you feel the joy of that love? Beautiful. And from my field of love, I welcome you and honor your field of love. There is no place I am ever happier speaking than in the field of love known as agape. And that means everybody joining us from anywhere you are, because the field of love is infinite. And now is the time for love. Now is the time for love. We are in strange, disturbing, challenging times. These are times when we have those thoughts. Couldn't I just go to a desert island somewhere? Wouldn't it be a lot easier to not be here now? Many times I hear people saying, I'm just staying out of everything right now. I'm just staying out of it. I'm not watching, I'm just out of it. I'm not watching the news, I'm staying out of it, But my dear ones, there is no out. There is no out. We are all in, you see? We are all in. We are one vibrational field of energy. All the energy from your own heart electromagnetically is going out, affecting everyone at every moment, every thought, every feeling. Not just when you're thinking positive thoughts on purpose. Every moment. Not just for a few hours when somebody's leading you to be in your highest. In every moment, you are vibrationally moving into the big recipe that we call this planet. So there is no out. We are in. And now more than ever, those of us on a path of awakening, which is you, and do not disqualify yourself from that just because you are imperfect. You are here, aren't you? You are listening, aren't you? No matter what has happened, you are sitting here in this moment. This is all that matters. But now more than ever, those of us who are conscious need to become more conscious. Those of us who are feeling need to be feeling more deeply, loving more fully, recalibrating ourselves more, and accelerating our process of transformation. This is why I wrote the choice for love right now. And it's called the choice for love for a reason. Because the truth is, love is a choice we make from moment to moment. It's a choice. I don't mean to be nice to people. I'll explain way more than that. It is a choice we have to make from moment to moment, even in moments that are impossible. We have to make. And now more than ever, that choice is essential. Just for your own sanity. What a perfect theme for this month. I'm so happy. This is my birthday month, and I was born on a day that was perfect for my incarnation, March 4th. March 4th, that's it. And isn't that what we're all doing? All of us are marching forth towards what? Towards more freedom, towards more awakening. And it's not flow forth, you see. It's not let someone carry you forth. It's not even think an affirmation and get there forth. It's march. March forth. What a great month for you to be here. What is love? What does it mean to make the choice for love? We think of love many times as a relationship or a bond with someone or an emotion or perhaps a set of kind behaviors. But those things aren't actually love. Those are actions, those are circumstances. Love is the source energy. It is a vibrational field. It is who you are. It is the essence of everything. It is something you have a relationship to, that whether you know it or not. It's the most unknown and unworked on relationship we have. We think we have relationships with people, but the most important relationship you have is with that energy of love and what you do with it or don't do with it. That feeling of love. And the truth is, and here's some great news for some of you who are single, right now, whether you know it or not, you're in love. Did you know that? Finally, you're in love. You can't not be. Let me read you something from The Choice for Love. Isn't it nice that they made a background that matches my book cover somehow? Michael's powers are beyond comprehension. Right now, think about this. You are in love. You have always been in love. You can't not be in love. You can cut yourself off from feeling it. You can have a difficult time accessing it. You can modulate how much of it you decide to feel or give. But you will still, even if you don't think you are, be in love. That is because love is all there is. It is, in every religion, talked about. The kingdom of heaven is within. Love. It is limitless. Therefore, love is all you are. It is an unlimited ocean of divine energy. You are already in it. In fact, you are it. And when you experience love, you're not experiencing your love, you're experiencing the love, right? The love. When people have near-death experiences, they never come back and say, there was nothing. It was just nothing. Just nothing. Empty. What do they say? Love, I can't describe it. It wasn't love about any, it was just love. When mystics and saints go to that place that have written about, from Jesus, Buddha, everyone, what do they say? Love. Love. That is who we are. So, knowing that, we ask ourselves, why aren't we always feeling it? See, if we're hearing it, it sounds nice, we clap for it. So why aren't we always feeling it if we're in it? What's the problem? What's the problem? And I know what you're thinking. It's my husband that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, I know I am love, but it's my secretary that's the problem. It's my 5-year-old, that's the problem. But it's not. Why? Because whenever you feel love, it's always your own love that you're feeling. Think about this for a minute. Think about perhaps a relationship that is no longer happening, or maybe one that's about to no longer happen. This might be a moment of revelation no. Think about you pre-meeting somebody. It could even be someone you're with right now, before you meet somebody. And then suddenly you meet somebody, and what do you feel? Oh, this love. Oh my God, I'm feeling so much love. Where did the love come from? Did they give you bottles of it when they moved in? Did they give you a transfusion? Where did it come from? When you're feeling that feeling, or when you're holding your child, 1 minute, there's nobody, you have a baby, or your partner has a baby, the next minute you're absolutely drenched in love. Or a puppy. Where did it come from? What is added to you? Nothing, right? And then what happens if that person goes away? Do they pack up all the love? Do they just siphon it off as they leave? And you're there going, I have nothing now. Really ask yourself, yes, the person's gone. Yes, the companionship. But where does the love go? Did they take it? No. It is always your love. It is always our love we're feeling. This is a really revelatory thing. This is a more enlightened understanding. So then what happens? What happens? Things happen and we give ourselves permission to feel it. Someone's behaving nicely, they say nice things to us. We go, oh, I feel so much love for them. It was your own love. You opened the valve. They misbehave, you go, that's it, shutting off the valve. And by the way, this happens 100 times a day, right? Your partner's being wonderful, you go, oh, we had such a great moment, I'm feeling so, oh, God, I love him so much, everything's fantastic. And then he or she is obnoxious or shut down or says something you don't like or embarrasses you. And what do you feel? Nothing, right? You go, I feel, I don't even want to look at that person right now. I feel nothing. I'm kind of flat. What happened? Did they pour the love in? They took it out? No. It's your love. We choose it. We don't choose it. What's a relationship then? Imagine an ocean, and it's calm, and there's no waves. And a wind comes along and creates waves, and suddenly you see, wow, the ocean looks so big today. It's the same ocean, right? But it's rising up in waves. The wind moved the ocean and moved its fullness to express itself. That's a relationship. People are wind makers. You see? Somebody comes along and you have your reservoir of love. And by the way, you have access to as much of it as anybody else. As anybody else. No matter what's happened to you in your life. And somebody else has their big pool, their reservoir of love. And they do something, and your waves rise up. You see? Your waves rise up. And you suddenly feel love. But it's your love. It's your love. People are wind makers. So basically, instead of saying, I love you, you could say, you make really good waves on my heart. My waves like splashing with your waves. But it's really true, you know? Right now, your energy is creating waves on the ocean of my heart. I love splashing with you. But it's my love. It's my ocean. It's my water, you see? And maybe things will be quiet for a while if your wind dies down. But my love does not go away. This shifts us into healing, beginning to understand a different relationship with love. And this is why I called this latest book my favorite book I've ever written. I feel so blessed that it came through me now. The choice for love, as opposed to the choice to love. Because the choice to love is how to behave better. Right? You all already know how to behave better. I'm not saying you do it, but you know how to behave better. You know, I need to do this, I'm supposed to pay attention. We know that stuff. But this isn't about that. And it's also not looking for love. That's called the chase for love, which many of us have done that book, right? Somebody is going to fill me. They may delight you. They may be a great wave maker, but they cannot fill you. It is only coming from inside of you. Then the question becomes, well, then how come I'm not feeling it? I agree with you, but I don't feel it all the time. I feel emptiness. How come sometimes? Maybe I'm at agape. Maybe I'm live streaming and I'm like, oh, love, the music, the children. Oh, God, I feel it. I know it. I'm there. Finally, thank God. And then 2 hours later, something happens. It's gone. Right? It's gone. What happened? You made the choice for something else. You made the choice for judgment. You made the choice to disconnect. You made the choice to numb out because somebody hurt you. You made the choice to turn off. You made the choice to unplug. So we're always making choices. No judgment about them. The question is, are we conscious that many times, even though we say, I want as much love as possible, we're actually making the choice for the opposite. We're making the choice to not feel, or we're making the choice to not pay attention, or to judge emotions as less spiritual than other emotions. It's all the ocean. It's all there. I would say emotions in my book are text messages from your heart. Don't delete them. They're trying to tell you something. They're trying to guide you to something. They're trying to show you that something's off balance inside. Love is a choice you can make from moment to moment. How? By learning how to reconnect to that energy inside of you, to find it, to feel it, to discover that you actually have a relationship with love itself. And many of our relationships with love are not friendly. They're not harmonious. Every time we've been hurt in life, every time we've been disappointed, every time we've been betrayed, a little piece of our ocean freezes up. We freeze it. It stops flowing. And moment by moment, hurt by hurt, ice block by ice block, we end up building walls, don't we? Have you ever tried to love somebody and felt you were throwing yourself against their wall of ice? You know they're in there. You can feel them. You can feel them, and you can see their highest, and you love them. But your love can't get in. And have you ever, if you've been honest with yourself, admitted that you aren't great at receiving? That you're afraid to trust again or open again? The choice for love is the choice to defrost. I call it in my book, the big melt. We all need to do the big melt. The big melt. The ice around your heart beginning to melt. Getting in situations inside, practicing certain things that I love teaching people that help you melt some of that solidity of the ice so that things can flow out and things that can flow in. The problem is, I'm going to read you something. We often use our pain, our past, things that have happened to us, as an excuse to wall ourselves off. Even those of us who consider ourselves very enlightened. We can look really loving, we can look like we're very open, but the opening is narrow, more than it should be. Many times, if we've gone through things that have been very painful, we almost feel our power is in not feeling as much, right? Not loving as much, not letting ourselves experience as much, not giving so much even, as a way to conserve or preserve our power. But our prisons are made of these protections. And eventually what we think protects us, makes us feel strong and invulnerable, becomes a prison. Let me read you something here, because all of us are survivors, by the way. You know, you may not be a survivor of something intense and dramatic, but we have all been through things. I want to read you something from a chapter called Digging for Gold in the Mud. We are all survivors. Some of you need to hear this right now. Every one of us has experienced loss in significant ways. Some of us have lost children. Some of us have lost love. Some of us have lost our health. Some of us have lost money. Some of us have lost our dreams. Some of us have lost our hope. We cannot hide behind the pile of our losses or what has happened to us and proudly wave the flag of our suffering. You hearing this? We cannot hide behind the pile of our losses or what's happened and proudly wave the flag of our suffering as if our suffering is more special than anyone else's, using it as an excuse for why we're not fully loving and living. We must stack all of our losses into a big pile, climb on top in triumph, and exclaim, "Look how high up I am and how far I have come." If your love wasn't received by someone, that doesn't mean you should lock it away. If what you gave wasn't appreciated, that doesn't mean you should stop giving it. Just because someone didn't appreciate that you are a diamond does not mean you've turned into a rhinestone. You are still a diamond. The big melt. The choice for love means honestly looking at your relationship to the energy of love, how we modulate it, how we decide based on people's behavior if we're going to feel it as much. Sometimes 100 times a day, even with our children, even with our partners. Moments when we are unconsciously or consciously turning the love knob down, turning it up, turning the appreciation or compliment love down, turning it up. Because that's what the person deserves. That's what we tell ourselves, right? Or, well, I'm protecting myself. But you're not. You rob yourself of that flow. Because that same love energy, when it flows through you, takes the form of creativity, takes the form of wisdom, takes the form of inner guidance, takes the form of courage, like I said in my meditation. That energy of love, that primal energy, is your life force. You can't be powerful or smart or successful over here and cut off from love over here. It's all the same. How much more you could all be feeling, how much more we all deserve to be feeling all the time. And the choice for love also means the choice for compassion. One form of love that especially, believe it or not, spiritual people need to have is compassion. You may be thinking, I have compassion. I have compassion for the homeless. I have compassion for sick people. I volunteer. How compassionate are you with yourself? How accepting are you of your own humanity? Many times we flip from honoring ourselves for those moments of our divinity, of our highest, and then when we are in our humanity, we feel we're in a less state, you see? We're not as high, we're not as good, and it's not true. Don't invalidate your divinity because of your humanity, or because of what's happened to you, or because of things that took place in your life, or even moments when you've fallen. You are just as divine. But having compassion for who you are, for your own journey, for understanding that the journey is difficult, is so important. A lot of you are your worst tormentor, right? How many of you know that you are more kind to other people than you are to yourself a lot of the time? So this has to change. That's not spirituality. It's not. Charity begins at home, and that means with yourself. Looking at all the ways you are not as compassionate, and being able to have both clarity about what needs to change and compassion at the same time. Loving yourself forward, learning how to love yourself forward as opposed to what many of us do, which is kicking ourselves forward, scaring ourselves forward, intimidating ourselves forward. Look how old you're getting. You know, that's not the way to really move yourself with love. And having the guts to have compassion for what we see in the world, and to feel the suffering of the world along with our own. It would be much easier to turn away from so many things we see both in people around us, in the world in general. But what good is our spiritual growth? What good is our consciousness? What good is our love? What good is our faith if it doesn't make us strong enough to bear seeing and witnessing the pain of the world, to be able to see it, to weep for the world? You know, there's personal grief that all of us have gone through at different times and will go through. And there's something I write about called cosmic grief. Have you ever felt cosmic grief? Cosmic grief, the hurt for how people treat each other, the feeling for how can people be so unloving, that feeling sometimes that you're on the wrong planet. I've had this. How many of you felt this from when you were young even? Why are people so harsh? What's wrong with the world? And what's wrong with it is because what people do to not feel loving is they stay in the me and they don't connect to the we. You see, when you are in a we, you cannot harm someone. When you are in a we, there is no other. Therefore, there is no other that you can say, you are different from me, you are not me, therefore I don't care what happens to you. So love is the enlightening factor, whether it's with your own partner, whether it's with your family, that will allow that flow of compassion, choice by choice by choice. One of the simplest techniques I can teach you, something you can do immediately, the next time, which could happen today, the next time you feel stressed, upset, irritated with somebody, disappointed by somebody, challenged by a situation, even a tiny thing, you can practice this choice for love recalibration technique. Simply ask yourself, how can I bring more love to, and then fill in the blank, whatever it is. How can I bring more love to my impatience with my mother? How can I bring more love to my disappointment in my partner right now? How can I bring more love to my frustration with myself? And at first, the answer is going to be, I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not going to. How can I bring more love? What's so powerful about that phrase? That's why I call it a recalibration phrase. Because normally when we're challenged, what questions do we ask? How can I fix this, right? How can I control this? How can the other person bring more love to the situation? Because they're the one that started it anyway. So it's not my job. They started it, they should be the one to... These are not questions that come from love. They come from ego. How can I bring more? What does that do instantly? What's the I you're talking about? That highest you, right? Don't you all know you have your highest self? And then you have that other part. And then everything in between. If you can be at your highest for a minute, for an hour, in service, then you can always be there. The question is, in this moment, right now, you're choosing to be in that place. I'm not talking about a mood. I'm talking about finding that energy. How can I bring more love to this situation? And then, second question, what would that look like right now? Maybe it would look like saying to the person, you know what, you're tired. I'm not going to keep bugging you with this question. Maybe it's saying to yourself, you know what, stop for tonight. You did enough. You're not in a place to keep doing this. Maybe it's to say to your child, I know you tried your best, even though you personally feel disappointed. That question, imagine if everyone in the world asked themselves that question every day. How can I bring the most love to this situation? And another version of it, how can I serve this person with love right now? And it could be a stranger. It could be somebody bothering you. It could be a friend. It could be somebody you're trying to rescue, fix, or help. And you get pissed that they don't accept your help because, of course, you know better than they do. And you wonder why they are resistant to your help. How can I serve this person with love right now? Love them, not make them wrong for not going as fast as I want them to. These are all just examples of how we can shift our relationship to love, to shift and have a more enlightened relationship with ourselves, others, and the world. Because there is no greater gift you could give to anybody than walking around with an open heart. Not better thoughts about love, not a better attitude, but you actually contacting more and more, plugging yourself back in, defrosting the blocks, deciding that that work is your highest purpose, so that you become a sanctuary, you become a living remedy, that people feel you, and they feel uplifted, that you become one of the reasons people are happy to be alive. And they don't look at you and ever have the thought, I wish I could go live on a desert island. Instead, they think, this is the island of sanctuary. Being in your presence makes me feel it's okay. What else could you want for yourself than to be that, even for a stranger, even for one moment, to just really willingly be in that flow with people, because it is always your love. Turn to someone right now and say, I am in love right now. I am in love. And now say, and by the way, I am in love with you because we're both in love. I am in love with you. And it feels good to be in love. Understanding love means knowing you can be in love and you can be unhappy. Really want to get this clear. In love doesn't mean in bliss. You can be in love and be suffering about somebody or something. You can be in love and afraid. You can be in love and feeling very hurt by something that happened. You can be in love and really worried about somebody, can't you? You can be in love and feeling your own love and still have anxiety about making some choices. You don't have to choose between love and other human experiences. Don't invalidate your divinity because of your humanity. I am feeling my love, and I'm also having concern about something. One doesn't invalidate the other. One is not less than the other. This is what it means to learn how to more and more and more make the choice for love. Now more than ever, not just your prayers for the world, but your living offering to the world is needed. Now more than ever, we have to examine ourselves and not say, just, I go to church, I read books, I meditate, I do good things, so I'm fine, I'm on the positive end. How much more can you do to grow into the most awakened person you can be? The most awakened person you can be. To see what you need to see about yourself and feel what there is to feel. And be able to learn all the ways you are choosing not love. Not love. And to learn more and more how to bring yourself back to that place so that you yourself become the gift, the blessing, recalibrating yourself and everybody else around you. I love gifts, and before we do a final meditation, I brought you all a gift. I want to give you all a download of one of the chapters of my book and a meditation I did and a whole seminar on all the things I'm talking about, all free as a gift. So we have these handouts, and you can just go to, you're welcome. It's my birthday present because we're all marching forth together. So you just have to go, and for those of you who, you can get a little piece of paper, it shows you everything. You can just go instantly online and download them right away. For those of you who are not here physically, just go to barbaradeangelis.com/free gifts, and there it is. And you'll instantly get things in 2 seconds, and you're welcome to share it with anybody, pass it along. The more love, the better. The more people understanding these things now, making choices for love, the happier we will all feel, and we will be living on that island of love that we keep wanting to run away to. And I'll be happy to see so many of you outside during book signing and meet you and give you love. I want to tell you, before we do a meditation, something that happened in the first service today. A woman brought her daughter, her 10-year-old daughter, and she was weeping, and she said, my daughter, the minute you started doing a meditation, started to cry, and she hasn't stopped crying, and this has never happened to her before. I looked at this little girl. I could see she was such an old soul. The harshness of the world was breaking her heart. The harshness of people, other little girls, was breaking her heart. The feeling of what I call the divine discomfort of her own longing to do something, to be here as a light worker, but she was too young, was weighing on her. Some of you feel that way when you were young. I'm supposed to do something, but you can't yet. Instead of just giving her a hug, I made the choice for love. I looked at her, I saw her, I felt her, and I spoke to her heart, and I said, it is so hard to have such an open heart, isn't it? And she started crying even harder. It's so hard to be so small and feel you're supposed to do something, and you're still in school. I said, and it's hard to feel special and different and have the other girls not see you and make fun of you. And then she started crying even harder. And I said, you are such a beautiful old soul. You are going to be a great teacher. You cried because my words spoke the truth to you. and some of the ice around your heart started to melt, and she held on to me, and she wouldn't let go. And she just held on while I was talking to other people. I didn't want to let go of her either. That was me growing up, wondering, where was I? What kind of world was this? Where were the people like me? All of us have that part of us inside. I share it because if that happens, I take it as a sign to share it with you. You have that little girl or boy that needs your love and comfort in the harshness of the world, to be loved for its humanity, to be loved for its imperfection, knowing it's just the different ways that you as a cosmic soul are growing. You know you're an old soul, and as an old soul, you are taking very advanced classes in consciousness. I forgot to read this earlier, but I have to do this. Have you ever had the thought, why is this all happening to me? I don't remember signing up for this. Ever had that thought? I don't remember signing up for this relationship. I don't remember signing up for this situation, this crisis. Why would I have chosen this? I know supposedly we choose it. I don't remember choosing this. It was obviously a mistake. Here are some classes that I find are popular with awakening souls, such as us. That's you. Perhaps you'll recognize some of these, all right? Just like when you sign up for a class at college or high school. Here's a class title, What's Wrong with Everyone? The Tolerance Symposium. You're not God. God is God. How to stop controlling everything and everyone. Anyone take that class? You know you're in that class when you're with somebody in your life you cannot control and they drive you crazy. Surrender, a master class. Here's one that I spent many years in, the abandonment immersion. Anyone take the abandonment immersion? Curing magical thinking, how to see what's real instead of what you wish was real. Pathways to patience, frustrations and delays for the impatient seeker. Survival skills for betrayal and bitterness. And finally, one that is a required course for all of us, Rising Above Rejection, the graduate level. So, but thank God we're in class together. Thank God we're in class together. Thank God we have places like this. Thank God we are not alone on the journey. And thank God every day we can remind ourselves to choose more love and choose more love, to defrost the heart, to plug back in, to clear our software that hasn't been updated sometimes for 30, 40, or 50 years, so that we can update it and actually be able to function fully lit up. We're wired for enlightenment. We're wired for love. We're wired for brilliance. We just have to learn to have the courage to plug back in. So let's plug back in now with a final prayer and blessing that I want to offer all of you to help recalibrate you with love. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes briefly one more time. What is my service to the world? What is my service to the world? Your service to the world is to keep your heart open. Your service to the world is to melt any ice around your heart so that your ocean can be a refuge of grace. Your service to the world is to learn how to live in the highest vibrational field of love and bring that field everywhere you are. Your service to the world is to be a love ambassador, not because of what you say or do, because of how you are vibrating with love. Your service to the world is to be a safe harbor, a sanctuary, so that people, when they see you, just want to dive into your energy field and not flee from it. To prepare your heart as a clean, beautiful pool of love without debris, without old things floating in it. so people want to just immerse themselves in your love. In this moment, imagine flinging open the doors to your heart, feeling how much more love you have to offer, how much more joyful it will be for you to let all of it flow, knowing there is so much more there that you've been letting yourself feel. Because when each of us opens, we all open. When each of us heals, we all heal. When you make the choice for love, you make it easier for someone else to do it. This is how your love, our love, will heal the world. These are my highest blessings for you. May you remember who you are in this lifetime and fully awaken to the remembrance of yourself as pure love. May all of your sincere intentions for freedom and liberation and healing be received and sanctified by grace. May all obstacles within you and without be easily removed so that light may enter and light may shine from you. May you be free from suffering. May you be at peace. May you be a blessing to the world, to everyone you meet without your knowing it. May people thank God for you. And may you live in such a way that you become the gift, the hope, the miracle that people have prayed for. Just being in your presence, they remember love. They believe in love. They feel the rising in their heart because you are magnificent wind, and everyone you see feels the waves of their own love rising because of the grace of the divine wind of love that you are. Thank you for making the choice for love. Thank you for being a light worker. Thank you for showing up on this planet at this time when we must stand together, an army of love, believing and knowing. That is why we are here. Thank you, Agape, my spiritual home, for inviting me to be here. Thank you, my beloved brother Michael, for being my ancient soul sweetheart, for blessing all of us, for being such an amazing wind maker for so many millions of people. And thank you all for allowing me to serve you, to help you march forth, to choose love, to be love. May it be so. Many blessings.